I didn't know what else to do, all right? It was like midnight and I was on the streets of Venice. Like, honestly, that is what was going on. Hey guys, what is up? My name is Poppy and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, basically I just post travel and lifestyle videos, and today is Sunday. So you know what that means. It's time for a Storytime Sunday video where I highlight the best of the best the most requested stories from my travels, the best mishaps, the best misfortunes. So I hope you're having a good Sunday, and I think you're really gonna enjoy this video. It is what I call the pièce de résistance. It's like the pinnacle of my travel story time videos. It is one of my favorite, and it is actually my most requested story time. So without further ado, here is the story of when I slept in a kebab shop in Italy the night before Christmas Eve. Let's get started. So as always, before we go any further, I need to set the scene for you so you understand the context and the background, and it's not just like, wait, why'd that idiot go sleep in a kebab shop? Like, I mean, you might still think that, and that's okay. But first, I want to give you the reasons why that actually was one of the better choices, okay? And why that happened like it did. So it was December 2015, almost 5 years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. This is so fresh in my mind. So it was the end of December. I think it was around December 19th, and I was in Thailand. I had finished up a semester at my university. That point in time, the end of December, I was traveling with my friend, my Thai friend that I had met in school, and her friend. So it was the three of us, me, Mean, and Nico, and Mean's family, who just took us on vacation with them. Honestly, it was amazing. We spent 3 days together, and we were traveling on the west side of Thailand. We went to Kanchanaburi. We went to the longest wooden bridge in Thailand, I think. And we tried even to go into Myanmar, but I couldn't because I'm non-Asian looking, and even though they didn't have visas either, they could enter and no one would question them, but the officials said someone would question me probably and ask for my non-existent visa. So we couldn't go because I'm not Asian. But that's a whole nother story about Myanmar and getting rejected from the border. Today's story starts with the fact that I had a return ticket back to Italy from Thailand. I was hanging out with them for a few days, knowing that my flight was coming up and I had no idea what to do. But at least I had a flight, right? Which doesn't happen so often to me these days. I had a flight. I had bought a round-trip flight from Italy, where my au pair family was located. I spent the summer with them in Switzerland. But I bought my flight from Italy because that's where they live permanently. So from Italy to Thailand on September 6th, and back from Thailand to Italy on December 22nd, arriving December 23rd. Now, there was no reason for me to buy a round-trip flight, but it was the point in my travels where I still needed some sense of security. But, we just don't care about that anymore. We're booking one-ways left and right these days. So anyways, I had a round trip and I was going back to Italy. And for what and why? What would I do when I got there? This was the big question. Like, I have my round trip, I have my return flight, but what's next? I knew two things for sure. Number one is that I had to go back to the USA to finish my senior year and graduate. I had my last semester, and unfortunately for me, I could not spend a fourth semester studying abroad. I had to go back to the USA, and I had to graduate from there. So that was the first thing. I knew that I had to go back to the US by the time my semester started on January 25th, I think it was. And the second thing is that I did want to spend some time in Europe before going back. So between my December 22nd flight and my January 25th start of the semester, it was a month. And I knew that I wanted to spend that month in Europe. I didn't want to go to the US any earlier than needed, as usual. So I was thinking of doing two things. I wanted to do them both. Number one is go spend Christmas with my family in Romania. And number two is also visit my au pair family where they were in Switzerland before going back to the States. So I knew these two things, at least for sure, that I needed to go back to the US, but I wanted to spend one more month just hanging around Europe. Back to the setting, I was with my friend, with their family, traveling around Thailand at the same time. What am I gonna do when my return flight lands in Venice Marco Polo Airport on December 23rd? What am I gonna do? Then I did make the concrete decision. I said, yes, I am taking a stand. I am going to Romania for Christmas. I'm gonna get there somehow. I don't know how, but I'm gonna get there. And I wasn't too worried about it because, a lot of Romanians do work in Italy. So I thought there has to be cheap flights, there has to be frequent buses, someone's gonna be driving. Well, the flights were expensive. The buses were non-existent, or maybe I was looking on the wrong websites. I'm not sure, but I knew there was still one more option, which is BlaBlaCar. Now, what BlaBlaCar is like organized hitchhiking, basically. It's a ride-sharing app. So a driver sets his journey, like let's say he's going from Paris to Lyon, and he's setting his journey for X amount of money, and you can go in his car. It just sounds weird, but that's what happens. You just share a ride with someone who posts the ride, and they decide the fee, what to charge you for that ride. And of course, it's faster than like trains and buses, so it's actually really nice. But sometimes you're feeling a little antisocial. It's not the best. But anyways, so then I said, oh yeah, of course, BlaBlaCar.com. Let's go. Let's see. And I went on BlaBlaCar.com, and to my surprise, I did find quite a few rides that were from Venice, right where I would be landing, to my city in Romania, if not to closer surrounding cities. And I said, okay, this is great. I knew it. I had a feeling people are going back from their workplaces. They're going back home to spend the holidays with their family in Romania. Perfect. And it wasn't long before I found myself a ride. So my driver's name was Alexander, and we're using real names around here. Like, I'm sorry if you did me wrong, we're using your real name. So Alexander, he had a ride posted at 8 p.m. on December 23rd from Venice to Cluj, to my city. I said, oh my God, this is perfect. My flight arrives at 8 a.m. I'll just wait 12 hours in the airport. No big deal at all. I've slept in airports by choice. So this is fine. 12 hours, no big deal. So I contacted Alexander and I was like, you know what? I would love to join your ride. Like, this is perfect for me. Please, let's make it happen. He responds back, it's fine. It's great. I'm going to be joining him in his car, driving from Venice to Cluj. Or so I thought. Oh. So I had my flight. I misread the baggage requirements, and I thought my suitcase could be up to 30 kilos, but it was actually supposed to be 23. So here I had a 28 kilo suitcase, and I just, honestly guys, I'm gonna post a picture. I was wearing 3 pairs of pants, 2 jackets. This is Thailand, okay? I was wearing my heaviest jewelry. I was wearing my glasses. I was wearing my sunglasses here. I was having something else tied around my waist. It was insane. I had shoes dangling off of something. All right, it was crazy. But I made it with 23 kilos. Oh, I went from 30 to 23. I left some stuff with my friends, but if you can't tell me that's not an accomplishment, like, I feel more proud of that than getting my degree. So my flight was with Alitalia, And something so funny happened. So while I was on the flight, for dinner, I had a glass of red wine, right? And then I asked the stewardess to bring me a glass of water, but she misunderstood me. So this chick, the real MVP, she brings me another glass of red wine. So I have 2 glasses of red wine and no water. I'm about to be really dehydrated. But it's okay because I'm going to go to sleep. So after my 2 glasses of red wine, a Christmas miracle, she legitimately, homegirl, turned water into wine, okay? So we get to Abu Dhabi layover, my next flight to Venice. I had no one next to me, so I had 3 seats to myself. I slept the whole time. And then I landed in Venice at 8 a.m. So I was excited to be back in Italy, and although I knew I would have to wait about 12 hours in the airport at that point, it didn't matter because I was just gonna write in my journal, I was gonna read, I was gonna smoke a cigarette outside, staring off into the distance forlornly, as I liked to do in 2015. And that's where wearing 3 coats or 2 coats and 3 pairs of pants came in handy because it's cold in Italy, okay? Northern Italy. It's not like freezing. It was about 6 or 7 degrees that day. So not freezing, but still, that's when the layers came in handy. All right, so I was waiting for my guy, Alexander. I actually went out of my cheapness and I set my cheapness radar down for a bit, and I bought a pass to the airport's Wi-Fi because that airport didn't have free Wi-Fi. I don't know if it does now, Venice Marco Polo, but at the time it didn't. So it was good that I bought the Wi-Fi pass because Alexander had messaged me and he said that he wanted to change our meeting time to 10 p.m. So that was fine for me, you know, okay, let's like another 2 hours, but whatever. It just means that I'm still gonna be getting home for Christmas. I'm gonna be in Cluj. I'm gonna be with my grandparents. I'm gonna be with my family for Christmas. And that was the important part, not waiting in the airport. So it was time to leave the airport around 9:30. And I took, it was this metro, I think. It was a train for sure. It was not a bus. And I got to Venice Mestre, which is not like Venice the island. It's the mainland of Venice, right? The main city. So I get there and he says to me, you know, oh, what time, where we're gonna meet, all of that. His car is already described. People's cars are described on BlaBlaCar, like the make, the model, the color. So I knew what I was looking for. And I got there and I just didn't find it. I got there at 9:45 and I said, okay, you know, it's okay. He's just late. People run late. It's all right. I'm gonna cut him some slack. I'm more often than not late. So 10:15 rolls around. I'm really getting nervous and it's not warm outside. You know, it's Venice, northern Italy in December, okay? Even if it was 6-7 degrees, I've been used to Thailand these past few months. So I'm waiting for Alexander. I'm getting a little cold and I'm getting worried. And this just makes me colder and more agitated. And by the time it was 10:45, I said, you know, something is really wrong here. I need to get in touch with this man. I went to find Wi-Fi. I was like, guys, if you can imagine, and not that I looked homeless, but I almost did. Like I had this big suitcase. Like I was wearing 3 coats. Like it just looked weird. I walked into the closest hotel I saw opposite our meeting point. It was this very fancy, if not 5-star hotel. And I said to the receptionist, can I please use your Wi-Fi? I'm trying to meet someone. I can't get in contact with them. He looked at me very, very strangely, a little bit like, you know, one of those snobbish looks, like, what are you doing in my hotel lobby? But he gave me the Wi-Fi. So I contacted him and I was like, hey, I'm here. And I didn't get a response. And then I contacted my mom. I didn't know what else to do, all right? It was like midnight and I was on the streets of Venice. Like, honestly, that is what was going on. So I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, I don't know what to do. And I'm waiting here and this man's not showing up and I don't have a place to sleep because I was supposed to get a ride with him. So she calls him. See, the story's building up now. So she tries to call him because she has a Romanian phone number. No response. He's not responding me on BlaBlaCar. It's 11:30 at this point, okay? And I just feel like hopeless. I'm literally at this point, I'm sitting on my suitcase on the street, laptop on my lap. People are staring at me, okay? They are staring. There were these little kids like, what? Like, Daddy, what's that lady doing there? They're probably like, if you guys go to college, you won't end up like this backpacker on the street. So, Alexander, my God, he's not responding. So, I get no response from Alexander. I think my mom did get a hold of him and he was just like, yeah, he's running late. And at that point, I was just so annoyed. I think he did message me on BlaBlaCar and said the same thing, like, oh, like, I'm running late, like, I'm sorry, are you still there? And I was just like,
Okay.
Are you serious right now? Like, I'm a young girl, like, just stranded on the street because you failed to inform me, or you just wanted to run late and not own up to any responsibility or arrangements you had made. So I was mad at that point. I said, whatever, I'm just gonna go on BlaBlaCar and see if someone's leaving right now, or like if there's something else. Or I just thought this man, like, I honestly thought he was playing a joke on me and he wasn't ever gonna come. So I go on BlaBlaCar, I find this other man. I don't know what this one's name is, but let's call him Razvan because that sounds like a name for this. If you thought Alexander was an asshole, wait until you hear what Razvan did to me. So I found Razvan's BlaBlaCar posting, and he said that he was leaving at 12 p.m. the next day to go to Cluj. I thought, wow, I'm lucky. I found this other guy who's leaving from here, from Venice. Like, wow, that is a saving grace. Like, I can still make it to Cluj. So still no response, nothing else from Alexander about when he's coming, what he's doing. So I thought like this guy, like, he's just playing around, like he's joking, like he doesn't care. So I messaged Razvan, got in contact with him, confirmed that we were gonna go together at 12 p.m. the next day. I could join his ride. What was I gonna do from that night until 12 p.m. the next day? I felt just so hopeless and so lost. I thought, oh, maybe I could go back to the airport and sleep in the airport. But no, I can't, because at the time it was not a 24-hour airport, so it closes at night. I was literally coming to terms with the fact that I was homeless right then and there. So I was wandering around on the street. I was saying, I need to find a place to sleep. Like, it's cold, it's night. What am I gonna do? I'm alone. So I was just walking and walking. So I passed by this kebab shop. I asked them if they know any cheap places to stay, and they said they didn't. And then I turn back around and I start crying in the street. I'm really crying. Like,
they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. You just can't get into it.
Not making a scene, not like bawling, but you could tell someone was crying. You could tell I was crying. I was so frustrated at that point. I was so sad and so hopeless, and I just turned around. So then one of the men from the kebab shop saw me, and he came out and he said to me, hey, I think I know a place where you could stay. My friend owns a hotel. And I was still crying as I was talking to him, and I was just thinking, oh my God, how expensive could this be? I'm broke. After 3 semesters of studying abroad, I literally had $100 in my bank account, literally, if that. So I thought, oh my God, a hotel, how am I gonna afford that? Is it even, how? I was just, oh my God, I was just so distraught. And he said to me, I can call my friend. I'm gonna call my friend, but I only get off of work at 2 a.m. So he said I could stay in the kebab shop until then. So I'm in the kebab shop. They literally have no heat in the kebab shop. There's no heat. It's just like these 5 men speaking like different languages and in Italian with each other, but they're all from different countries. They're immigrants. And I'm thankful that one of them came up to me, but at the same time, I was still nervous because I didn't know if I really would be sleeping in this hotel. You know, I hope for the best, but you know, how I'm just gonna trust him? Like, I don't even know. So for about 3 hours, I just put my suitcase down. I put my head on the table like this and I slept. Okay, I slept in that kebab shop, waiting for this man to finish his shift so we could get out of there. I really did. There were customers coming in. They were probably like, who the fuck is that? Like, who is that? What are they doing here? Who's that girl? And but I slept, okay? I really slept until around 2:30-ish. And the guy finished his shift and he said, okay, I'm gonna call my friend and his hotel is down that way. I'm like, oh my God, thank God, like finally. I don't know how much it's gonna cost, but I have a place to sleep. And then we walk together and then he starts saying things like, but you know, actually you could sleep in my house or I have a room too. And I said, so do you have an extra bed? He said like, no, I have my bed. I was like,
catch me outside, how about that?
excuse me, like just call your friend. Let's go to the hotel. And he kept trying to like, put that off, postpone that. He was just trying to convince me to come to his house. And I was like, call your friend, where's his hotel? And at one point I was like, just tell me where his hotel is and I'm gonna go there myself. I'm gonna knock on the door and I'm gonna ring the bell. And he's like, oh, my friend might be sleeping now. Actually, I don't know if he's actually awake. I don't know if he actually has a room. And I was like, are you kidding me? I came to you at 12:30, sleeping in the kebab shop, waiting for you to get off your shift to call your friend. You could have called him then, but you didn't. And now you're telling me that, oh, you're not sure if your friend is gonna like be awake, if he's gonna respond. No. I'm sorry. Like, you are calling your friend. I was practically forcing him to call his friend. I wasn't begging him. It wasn't in a begging style. It wasn't like, please, I just need you to call your friend. No, I was like, call your friend and see. Call your friend right now. See if he's awake. Call him. I'm going to go knock on the door. I'm going to ring the doorbell. He's like, no, but you might wake the other guests. And I'm like, no, I'm going to knock on the door. I'm going to ring the doorbell until he wakes up. Like, I will be a paying customer, you know? And that's what you said to me. So, of course, just men looking out for themselves, trying to profit from situations as much as they can. But no, much to his lament and his regret, we did get to the hotel. His friend did respond to the phone and he did respond to the doorbell, much to his protests. As I went in the hotel, he had the audacity to say like, oh, I can cook you breakfast tomorrow morning. Like, excuse me?
Boy, if you don't get...
So I went in the hotel. His friend was nice. I paid $20 for a private hotel room, which is very cheap. And it had no heat though. Again, I was just, oh my God, I just wanted to be warm at that point, you know? And also I hadn't had dinner or lunch, so I was cold and starving, but at least I had a place to stay. And I knew that Razvan, the next morning, I would be going with him to Romania. So despite the odds, despite everything, I just knew it would work out. The next day, I couldn't sleep. I slept probably 5 hours. I woke up around 9 a.m. because I wanted to ask for the Wi-Fi so I could like update my mom, tell her what had happened. And I opened my laptop and is a message from Alexander, the first driver, who says, oh, I could get there at 3 a.m. And I didn't see that message because I wasn't on my laptop. And I was thinking like, oh my God, really now? Look, I slept in the kebab shop. I got this hotel room and now Alexander was here at 3 a.m. Like,
Oh, hell no!
why? But I said, you know what? I'm just going to forget about Alexander. He was messaging me. He was like apologizing. He was calling my mom. He was apologizing. Like the guy felt bad. Like the guy was trying to repent for his sins, but it was too late. It's about 10 a.m. when I asked to use the hotel's phone to call Rizvan and see where he is. And, you know, just really confirm that, okay, yeah, this is where you can come and pick me up or I can come meet you somewhere. So I called Rizvan and he says, hello. He says, allo. He says, da. Like, hello, yes, hello. And I heard that his voice was very, very far away from the phone. It sounded like he was in a it sounded like he was in a big wide space, or he was just very distant from the phone. So I said to him, so we're still meeting at 12 today, right? Where should I come? And he says to me, oh no, I've already left. I was like, why? You've already left? Literally, we confirmed on BlaBlaCar I would leave with you at 12. And even if you wanted to leave earlier, why didn't you just tell me? So he said, oh, I've left already. Goodbye. This was the whole phone conversation. I started to cry. I didn't know what else to do. First, Alexander doesn't show up on time, doesn't care. Sleeping in the kebab shop, getting to this cold hotel. The next morning, Rizvan just dips out at his own convenience, doesn't think about telling me. And I said, oh my God. Oh my God. I was crying. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know where to go. It was December 24th, Christmas Eve. I had just spent the night in a kebab shop. I was homeless again, okay? I checked out. The only person I have to thank for this, the only people I have to thank for this, for me being able to escape this situation and find the resolution, is my au pair family. So I messaged them and I was like, hey, I'm in Venice. I know you guys are in Switzerland. I know I said I would be coming later in the month or in January, but if it's okay with you, I'm gonna come to your home right now, like today. Like, I'm gonna buy a train to get to your home because it's December 24th and I have nowhere to go. Both of my drivers left me stranded in Venice. And bless their heart, Elisa said to me, the mom, she said to me, yeah, sure, of course you're always welcome. Look at the train schedules, tell us when to pick you up. And that's why I bought my €100 train ticket from Venice to Switzerland, to Thun, and then a bus to Interlaken, which is near where they lived. And by God, I made it on the night of December 24th, like a little baby Jesus Christmas present. I showed up at their house. I can't even explain to you the emotions I felt when I showed up at their house and I knew that someone's here, someone cares about me, someone, can protect me. Like, I'm not alone in the world. I'm not homeless. I'm not stranded, despite what those evil, rude, selfish Romanian men did. Oh, despite all of that, and I reported them to BlaBlaCar, despite all of that, I was home in a way. I was home, I was safe, and that was the most important part. So the takeaways from this story for me is that you always need to be flexible and quick thinking and have a backup plan. And like I've said in my other videos, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for the things you need. I asked for Wi-Fi from that random hotel. I went in the kebab shop to ask about hotels, and I put that guy who worked in the kebab shop in his place when he suggested, oh, let's go to my house. No, of course not. Absolutely not. Like, what do you think this is? And so yeah, that's the most important thing I think you should take away from this video is, like, despite when situations like this happen, you need to know your backup plans and exit strategies and speak up for what you need and for what you also don't want, okay? And what can I say? I'm not going to say this could have been avoided because it couldn't have. This absolutely did not. I'm not victimizing myself usually, but this did not depend on me. It depended on two people that made a promise online, virtually, and didn't follow through and left me stuck. So I have had great experiences with BlaBlaCar, and I'm not going to say that it's BlaBlaCar's fault or I love this website and I have done a lot of ride shares in, I would say, at least 6 or 7 different countries, but that's what happens. I don't know, in Romania, I also don't want to judge Romanians, but it's never happened in any other country for me. And it happened twice within 24 hours. So I'm gonna say I didn't get myself into that situation, but at least I knew how to get myself out of it. So as always, thank you for watching. If you like this video and you want to hear more story times, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below which one of these story times you would like to see next. Number 1, breaking into my workaway in Slovenia, or number 2, getting drugged by my coworkers in Greece. Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching this video and have a great Sunday. Bye guys.